So this is the interview of RYE-RYE99, another stroll down memory lane. This was edited by me and Cosmic when he was DFC Virgo Viper, but we won't go into that. And also, there were some things that Rye said in the interview that some people probably didn't know. So this is the chance to know a little bit more about Rye. Anyway, enjoy the video. What is up, guys? It's ajmarkle here. So as you guys know, this is a special interview with someone that's been on YouTube since 2014 and has amassed almost 700,000 subscribers. So please give a huge welcome to YouTuber slash FNAF YouTuber, Gmod player, Among Us player, whatever, RYE-RYE99.
Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing?
It's good to have you on, Rye. So I'm sure fans probably wondering.
Yeah, I'm happy to be. Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure we're all excited. So anyway, let's talk about your first video, where it's public or unlisted, private, whatever. Tell us about your actual first video. I'm sure some fans might be interested in that.
Okay, so the very first video I uploaded on YouTube was actually a song that I did. It was a very, very, very old song when I wasn't that good at making music back then. But the reason why it's on private right now is because I didn't make my own art for, you know, like the music, and the image that I used was subject to copyright. That's why a bunch of my songs are privated, because I got several claims, and this was during the time where I got that copyright strike on that Try Not to Laugh video, which is still deleted. And I was just paranoid that, you know, I didn't want something like that to happen again, right? So because if you get 3 strikes, you can lose your channel. I just wanted to keep my channel alive, and I didn't want to get into any more copyright trouble, considering the fact that those videos were monetized, and it wasn't fair for me to make money off a video where that includes like an image that I don't own that's subject to copyright, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, because especially with the copyright system being broken nowadays, you don't want to deal with any more copyright claims.
I mean, yeah, I agree in some ways it is broken, but like, you know, but in most ways, like, that being said, like, it's still like important to, you know, for, you know, artists to protect, how do I say this, like, protect like their songs and make them subject to copyright, so that people don't end up making money off their stuff. I like in some aspects that is still, you know, pretty important. So,
yeah.
But I do agree YouTube's copyright system is sometimes pretty ruthless. Like I did a live stream on a fan game of FNAF 1 Ultra Custom Night recently, and apparently the FNAF 4 title screen music is copyrighted apparently, and I had that playing in that stream. It was a 2-hour stream, over 2 hours, for 30 seconds of the video, and the monetization, before I removed that audio from the video, all the monetization for the video went to the owner of that song that was on there for 30 seconds. Like, how does that even make sense?
That's a recent term of service where third-party people can make a claim. So anyway, while we're on the topic of YouTube, what made you decide to go full-time on YouTube? I mean, a lot of people want to do that, but there's that peak in your life where you're like, I'm gonna do this. What was that peak for you?
Well, I mean, it's a good question, but it's kind of somewhat, you know, kind of hard to answer, because I guess it kind of started when, like, I uploaded my very first FNAF animation, The Ghost of Golden Freddy, which I may remaster that in the future and maybe not have it Golden Freddy, maybe someone else. But yeah, like, when I uploaded that first animation, that started blowing up in views. I got like 1 million views in a month, and I was like, holy crap. Like, you know, I've never had, you know, that much attention, like, on my videos and stuff, right? Then I started gaining subscribers, and then by the time January 2015, you know, hit, and I was getting millions of views per video, I was like, okay, I'm gonna definitely try to do this full time. So my parents and I set up set myself up on Google AdSense so I could make money on YouTube doing videos, and I was making some pretty good dosh during that time, I must say. And that's when I was like, sure, I'm gonna try to do YouTube full time. I don't know how long it'll last, but it's worth a shot. Also because like this is a bit of a personal thing, but it's also because I have social anxiety. Like I have trouble interacting with people, you know, in real life properly. Like I don't really interact like most others would, if that makes sense. And you know, it would just be a lot better for me if I could like work from home instead of having to go to a job, because I feel like I might have some difficulty there, especially with my you know, like this kind of issue I have with, you know, sometimes I have trouble paying attention. That can also be an issue as well. So yeah, that's mainly what made me decide I want to do YouTube full time, is when I uploaded that first video. Got a lot of views. I was getting lots of views from my animations, and yeah, I just kind of took off from there.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, there's always that one video that really changes everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty sure that's how most YouTubers started out. They do something that completely blows up, and then they do a follow-up to it. You know, it just kind of takes off from there.
Yeah, and hopefully, though, maybe I'll be able to go full-time on YouTube. I am not there yet, so. But
no, you do have I mean, I will say you do have still have a bit of a ways to go, but I'm sure you'll get there someday.
Yeah, I'm confident of that. I mean, some people actually go outside sources for finances. So
yeah, if it doesn't work out, I might try to, you know, improve my, you know, social skills and maybe get a part-time job as well. I don't know. I'll see.
Completely understand about that. So
also, I have been improving on that, and like keep in mind that was back when I was like 16. Well, turning 16 is when I decided to do YouTube full time. So
yeah,
you know, I'm a different person now than I was back then. So
yeah, I totally understand that. So Five Nights at Freddy's, I know you've gotten into that when you're younger, but what was that one game, obviously, that really made you interested into FNAF more deeply? And by explaining by that, I mean some people just play the first game and they don't really go into that. But what got you into FNAF more often?
Okay, the answer to this question is actually kind of embarrassing, I will admit. Okay, so in order for me to answer this properly, I gotta go back to when it all started. So I was a gigantic fanboy of the Annoying Orange. I don't know if you guys know about, you know, him and, you know, their videos and stuff. And there was, a character called Midget Apple had, you know, a gaming channel, which is now called the Annoying Orange Gaming Channel. But the first Five Nights at Freddy's video I ever saw was Midget Apple playing Five Nights at Freddy's. At first I was confused, but then I saw that one jump scare from Freddy, and even though I wasn't playing the game, I actually it did make me jump. And then I was like, okay, I actually want to see some real people's reactions to this. So then the next FNAF video I watched, besides the Annoying Orange stuff, the next FNAF video I watched was one actually by Smosh Games, and they played Five Nights at Freddy's. And I saw them getting jump scared by Bonnie and, you know, Freddy and stuff. And, you know, I started looking up more and more reactions and stuff. And eventually my friend, you know, Zach at the time, who also knew about the game, you know, he and I were watching videos about it. And I decided, you know what, I want to try this myself. So, you know, I played it. And I managed to beat night 1 and 2 on my first try, right? So I kind of got a little bit cocky, because I managed to beat night 1 and 2 by just closing the left door at a certain time to stop Foxy. So I kind of tried that for night 3, but, you know, obviously Foxy is way more aggressive in night 3, so I had to change my strategy a little bit. And then I got jump scared by Chica, and then I literally tossed my iPad onto the floor because I had my volume on full blast. Yeah, it was, yeah, it got me pretty bad, that one. That Chica was my first jump scare. And then I noticed these crazy, weird, or entertaining story or memey FNAF animations. I noticed all of them had the anagram SFM on it. And I thought, like, you know, what's SFM? And I looked it up, and apparently it stands for Source Filmmaker. And I saw other animations, non-FNAF animations, based that were made from SFM as well. And I kept watching more FNAF SFM videos, and I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. I might want to try this someday. And look at me now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure...
I'm sorry I kind of rambled there. I kind of tend to do that sometimes. Sorry.
It's okay, dude. Sometimes when people want a question, they just want to hear the whole thing. I mean, that's basically what's important about in this interview. So, anyway, I'm sure there are a few SFMs that you want to remaster, but what is one particular SFM that you've made, but yet you have yet to remaster soon?
Well, I don't know about soon. I think soon is a bit of a stretch, but I did plan on, you know, again, I don't want to say too much because it might spoil quite a bit of things, so I'm going to try to keep it, you know, simple and short. But one I did plan on remastering was the Ghost of Golden Freddy. But instead of Golden Freddy, you know, scaring them, instead of Golden Freddy tickling Foxy at the end, which I think was really cringy now that I look back at it.
Hey, we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, what I think I might do instead of, I mean, it could be Golden Freddy or Goldie I call him now, but, you know, it could be him. But, like, some evil guy is trying to make all the FNAF characters and all their friends turn into bad guys and stuff. And then I plan on making a scene that looks, you know, like you can tell it's referencing the Ghost of Golden Freddy, you know, kind of like that. But instead, make it a more, like, I guess, darker story, if you know what I mean. And I've been talking to a friend about, you know, these kind of ideas, and he's been helping me. Because, you know, sometimes I'm not, like, English wasn't really, like, my best subject in school. I just barely passed because I have vocabulary issues sometimes. Well, I did. But, so, like, sometimes, like, I ask for some people's help for ideas, but I always give them credit whenever I do. You know, there was a time where I admit I didn't used to do that, which I admit was, you know, scummy, and I do apologize to, you know, anybody who gave me ideas I didn't give credit for. But yeah, from now, like, from this point forward, ever since, like, for a few years now, I've always remembered to give credit to people who suggest ideas for me to do, basically. Anyways, I'm kind of getting off track. So, another animation I thought about remastering was the one called Strange Phone Calls. You know, that's the animation where, you know, Foxy and Freddy are both, like, in the office, and they're getting these weird sounding phone calls on the phone. Have you seen that video?
I have, actually. I've pretty much seen a good, at least all your SFMs.
Yeah, but, you know, I noticed that I had very little dialogue in that video, and it was kind of the same thing, and the animation was, I do plan on improving the animation too. So I plan on adding more dialogue. You know, they have, like, a more of a conversation, and the reason why they're getting those phone calls is because it's actually BB and JJ prank calling them, because, you know, they're a couple little pranksters. So I thought it would be a better plot twist if, you know, BB and JJ were just pulling their leg. You know what I mean? And then eventually they find out, and yeah, I thought that would be, you know, much more, because, I mean, there's a huge unanswered question in that video. Who exactly is doing those phone call things, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it would be better if I had, like, you know, an actual person doing it, like BB and JJ prank calling them or something.
Yeah, totally understand. Now, I'm sure that you used to use the Splinks models, but as from a poll you did, you asked fans which models to use, and they chose, like, the modern FNAF models. But for anyone that basically criticizes Splinks models, what do you have to say to them about that?
I mean, I totally understand. You know, I don't disagree with them about the fact that, You know, they are not accurate at all to the actual FNAF models, and they're more, you know, cartoony. And I agree, there are way better models out there. But, you know, like, even though I like the Splinks models, I guess it is time to move on at some point. So, from now on, like, I mean, it's been a while since I've animated something, right?
Other than the April Fool's one you did with Nico.
Yeah, but that was a joke. I acted like it was, you know, my most popular video on my channel, with part 2 of it, but it turned out to be just a Henry Stickmin joke. I guess that's probably why it didn't really get, you know, a lot of views. It's probably because it's just not, like, serious. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, you know, because my views have been, like, down, like, a lot lately, but I'm hoping if I get into, like, more stories and, you know, I get into, what am I trying to say? I get into, like, you know, more, like, better animations and, you know, more accurate, and, you know, I do them more often with the help of some friends, of course. I'm hoping that will bring my SFM crowd back. And I do apologize once again to my SFM fans, because I have said, like, many times that I'm going to go back to animation, and I didn't for the longest time, because my motivation, especially last year, was down in the dumps. I won't really get into the reason why that is unless you ask me about it.
Yeah, it's understandable. And so, I understand, however, that people are asking for FNAF's Got Talent, and if you had to do FNAF's Got Talent, what would you do differently from the first season, if people ask?
Well, first season I kind of had the FNAF characters act a little, you know, more, I don't know what the word is, like kiddie-ish or something. Now I want to make them act more serious like judges would, right? I would try my best to do that, but it's kind of hard to when, you know, you're doing a voice like pretty fast, you're doing a voice like Bonnie the Bunny, or a voice like Chica, you know, it's kind of hard to make them sound a little, I guess, professional, if you know what I mean, but I'm going to try harder to do that. And me as the host, I didn't really sound like myself, so I'm going to try to, like, talk more like myself if I do decide to make me as the host, myself as the host again.
Yeah.
I might even, like, do a complete remaster of season 1 and include, like, some acts that were in the original season 1, but also include some different ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean.
And also, I'm definitely gonna use a different, like, map, because there's an actual theater map that I plan on using as well. I think it might suit better, you know, because you got the audience behind them and stuff, and it's actually a stage. Like, all I did there was basically, you know, clean up the FNAF 1 map and just put a few lights, and that's it. Like, I can do better than that now.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So yeah, definitely looking forward if you ever do remaster season 1. I'm sure, because a lot of people were talking about, you know, FNAF's Got Talent. Even people were messaging me about it, asking like, "Hey, when's RYE gonna do like FNAF's Got Talent again?" I mean, you're currently the only YouTuber that ever took FNAF and made a Got Talent about it thus far. The rest of things that happened out there were reactions so far. You're the only person that came up with the idea so far as I know.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like, well, I mean, it's kind of true, kind of not, because I have seen other videos that aren't, you know, that don't have as many views that have done FNAF's Got the Talent thing. One of them was a joke with FNAF plushies, and the other one was another FNAF judgy thing, but that was more of a joke as well, whereas mine was more serious, but I plan on doing a better job on it, you know, next time I do it. Now, fun fact, there was going to be a FNAF's Got Talent Season 2, and it was almost finished, but I really hate talking about this, but, you know, you witnessed this, Aaron. In 2019, my computer broke twice in 2019, right?
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Because of that, I lost everything I had on it. Literally, I lost all my, well, almost all my saved SFM sessions. I did manage to recover one or two of them, but, well, one or two of them, like a few of them, but you know, most of them, you know, I lost. And I tried to work with what I had, and I tried to continue on, and I even asked people to help, but whoever I asked to help just, you know, lost motivation or couldn't do it for some reason, or just, you know, didn't do it in time. So, you know, at that point I gave up and I just decided to move on with other things. And that's mainly one of the reasons why actually I have not been uploading animation in such a long time, is because I was kind of trying to recover that, and also because I was losing motivation myself too. So those two combined, you know, not exactly very good, right? So at that point, like, I just said, you know what, this is taking up too much of my time, you know, I can't, like, I don't have time for this, and I just ended up canceling it. So, but I might bring it back sometime in the future. Like I said, I'm not sure, and it'll be, in the words of Phone Guy Night 2, new and improved.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I do apologize to anybody who wanted to see FGT, and they didn't get to see it. I mean, I guess it is partially my fault because I worked slowly at it, but at the same time, not really, because my computer just decided to give out on me for no reason, and then that got turned into a meme, which I really didn't appreciate, but, you know, I guess, you know, stuff happens and you just gotta keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, people come up with figure out ways to do memes of anything nowadays, especially since I've talked about a particular meme on my channel that I won't say on here that that was not appreciated to another person. We won't go into that.
I saw that. I also agree with what you said. It's not right to make a meme of that, considering I also know about, like, the situation and all that.
Yeah, so to continue on though, despite the setbacks from your computer and everything, what was the next thing that got you interested in doing more gaming? I mean, besides just Gmod.
What got me interested in doing more gaming? The lack of animations. when I realized I was lacking, you know, motivation to do animations, I knew I had to put more gaming stuff out, and I guess I kind of went from an animation channel to a gaming channel, and I'm starting to question if that's really what my fans wanted, because, you know, ever since, you know, my last animation before this one, you know, before the April Fool's thing, and not counting the intro, like the little intro I did, it was like 2 years ago, and, you know, ever since, you know, that, you know, I've noticed that my views have slowly been, you know, declining. So, like, you know, the view count of my latest animation does worry me, I admit, because it only got like 6.3 thousand views in like almost 3 days, which not very good if you consider my subscriber count, right? So yeah. I am a little worried that I might have waited too long. I just hope it's not too late for people to give my animations, you know, one more chance. I know I probably let my SFM fans down, and I'm sorry about that, but I hope to fix that by, hopefully, if I find the motivation, and the motivation stays here, give them a really special treat. Yeah,
I think though, despite the lack of SFM animations, you know as much as I know that SFM animations take a lot of time, and people can't just say, give us an animation, give us an animation, give us an animation, because that it takes a lot of time, framework, the lighting, the movements, etc. I mean, you've done SFM for 6 years now, and you know the process just as much as any, like, skilled / experienced SFM animator, basically. So if anyone wants to be an animator in the future, or is slowly working on it, what is the number one advice you would give to those animators?
Definitely, like, if quote unquote fans try to rush you, not trying to sound rude when I say this, but just try to ignore them. And if they say they're going to unsubscribe if you don't do an animation with a certain amount of time, don't let that get to you either. Because in the end, they're not exactly respecting the fact that you need time to do it, right? But at the same time, like, take your time, but at the same time, like, don't do what I did and don't take too long. Because if you take too long, you know, eventually you're going to lose your audience, and you're going to end up kind of like how I am right now. So my advice to, like, any YouTuber is, you know, don't make that same mistake that I did, and, you know, try to get it done within a decent time, and take all the time you need. Just don't take too long, and just do whatever you can to make your fans happy. And for the love of Pete, do not like rush it, because if you rush it, it's gonna look not nearly as good as it would have if you took your time. And I admit that's what I used to do in the past. Like, this is also something that people need to understand. The reason why I was uploading animations so frequently, like in the past, in my early days of YouTube, is because, one, I wasn't as good at animation back then, and two, because of, my animation wasn't, as precise and as smooth, and I was just doing it just for fun. Obviously, that considered, I was able to do animations a lot because, the animation wasn't as good back then, right? But now that I'm trying to do better at animation, that's why it takes me longer to do. But the reason why it took me way more longer than I should have is because of all that computer trouble. And yeah, I'm sorry if what I said there was confusing. I had trouble wording that.
It's okay. I mean,
I have trouble wording things sometimes.
You word things pretty good to me, and because you basically explained like what to do, not to do, and gave some good advice. Now, for the whole Five Nights at Freddy's, I mean, I know obviously your favorite character is Toy Bonnie based on your OC and everything, but if you had to name a character from each FNAF game, what would you choose? Like FNAF 1, I would choose Freddy, for example.
FNAF 1, I would probably have to go with Chica, because before FNAF 2 came out, Chica was actually my favorite character. So, for me, it's Chica for FNAF 1, for which that being said, like, I kind of wish there were more Chicas in Zany Gmod.
Pizza!
Aaron, no. Anyway, yeah, FNAF 1 is Chica. FNAF 2 is definitely Toy Bonnie. Sorry.
Right.
Wait, what did I call? Okay, Toy Bonnie, or actually, if there was a fixed version of Mangle in FNAF 2, that might have been my favorite character. Not gonna lie, but yeah, FNAF 2 is Toy Bonnie. FNAF 3, I'm gonna have to go with Springtrap because he's the only animatronic, and I don't really like the Phantoms that much, I'll be honest. FNAF 4, at one point it was Nightmare Bonnie, but I'm actually gonna have to go with Nightmare.
Ooh.
And yeah, Nightmare. I like his colors and like his design and stuff. So yeah, Nightmare. Sister location, probably Funtime Freddy. Probably Funtime Freddy. FNAF 6. FNAF 6 is a tough one because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go by, section. So for the rock stars, I would probably go for Rockstar Freddy. For the mediocre melodies, I would probably go for either Ned Bear or Happy Frog. And for the main four, I'm not gonna include Trash in the Gang, by the way. But for the main four, Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, Scrap Trap, or Afton, and Lefty, I'm gonna have to go with Lefty.
That's pretty interesting. Being up on that. So now obviously you got all the characters from FNAF 1 through 6, and obviously I kind of noticed you didn't include FNAF World in there since it's technically not part of FNAF story during chronological order.
Also because like, it kind of includes all the FNAF characters up into Sister Location, with the exception of Funtime Foxy. But yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense on that. So, obviously you've beaten 2020 on FNAF 1, and did you beat 2020 on FNAF 2 and 3?
No, I can't even get past Night 6 on Night 3. I've never beat Night 6. It's way too hard.
Yeah, I totally get you. I mean, my dog's barking like mad.
I think they might have beat... Sorry, go ahead.
My dog's barking like mad. What's her problem?
Oh. Anyway, I was gonna say, I don't think... I think the only way I've beaten like all 20 mode in FNAF 4, or 4, 2020, 2020, that mode, I think the only way I've beaten that is like with cheats on. I don't know if I actually beat it legit. I can't remember.
I remember you got the cheat video you had on that.
Yeah, I did beat it with cheats, but I don't think I beat it without cheats. I don't think I have that other star.
You'll get that star probably one day. I mean, it might be good.
Sister location, definitely not. FNAF 6, definitely not, because I can't get past the 4th night with only Scrap Baby active. It's ridiculous.
I can't even get past night 3 or something, or 2 or 3. I think it was 3, without getting a heart attack every time I get jump scared by either Molten Freddy or Lefty.
My highest that I've gotten on Ultimate Custom Night is 4920. The highest I've gotten Ultimate Custom Night is 4920 mode. So close. I had everybody on 20 except for Toy Freddy. Toy Freddy was off. Yeah,
Toy Freddy always seems to be a pain in the you-know-where.
Yeah, honestly, like, this might sound weird, but I honestly find it easier to Deathcoin Funtime Foxy than to try to survive Toy Freddy by RNG. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like the thing with Toy Freddy where you can not get jump scared by him when you flip up the camera when you're supposed to do his game in the room, I honestly feel like that's kind of a bug that Scott overlooked. I know, Scott had it where he jump scares, at this second or this second or this second, but still, I kind of feel like it was... I actually kind of feel like that if you beat 50-20 mode like that, you're kind of winning to a bug. But that's just my opinion.
I completely understand. So, kind of moving on from the whole Five Nights at Freddy game series, what you played a lot of Garry's mod, especially when you had an old series which we won't name, and now it's an AG mod. So, what is your favorite game mode overall in Garry's mod?
That's a bit of a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with either capture the flag or hide and seek with proximity chat.
Oh yeah, I have yet to try the proximity chat one, but
yeah, there are other ones I like as well, like Trash Compactor and some of our custom game modes. Favorite custom game mode, probably Family Feud.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was involved in a couple, actually one of those so far.
Yeah, and if I upload that other video, then it'll be your second one, and Holly was there too.
Yeah.
Won't spoil the outcome. But Nico did something really silly and said a certain thing again that actually worked.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys want to check out more of RYE's content before I continue this interview, please subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your grandma, your pet, whatever. I mean, let's get.
I don't think someone's pet is going to subscribe to my channel and watch all of my videos.
Unless they have a pet account. Doggone. Okay. But anyway, though, to continue on with the Garry's mod, what is one video on your channel that you just cannot stop laughing your head off?
Ooh. Video on my channel that I cannot stop laughing my head off.
Specifically Garry's mod. Specifically Garry's mod.
Yeah, I figured. I'm actually gonna go with multiple, because I can't really choose one because I have a lot of videos on my channel. Probably episode 100, and yeah, episode 100 is probably one of my favorites. Probably the episode, the meme with John falling down with the car. I want to know what love is. Right? That one always cracks me. And the other one that cracks me up is Gmod Funny Moments episode 96, where it's the one that's called WTF is going on, and it's the one where it's like Link goes 1, 2, okay, we didn't die, 4, 5, and then right as I said boom, the bomb explodes, and we kept doing that. It was just so funny.
Yeah, that's actually become a thing now for people to do in Who Touched It Last. I mean,
oh yeah, also another video that I always find funny is the video was literally called Poo Poo. And if you guys don't know what that is, a random dude joined mine and Brandon's game. We were playing Clue, and his name was Poo Poo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have the Clue game, guys, and I actually have the board game, so if you just want to be a strategic or strategist and not fail like Henry Stickmin all the time, that's the game for you. So obviously now you kind of introduced yourself to other games, which include Clue, but what other games do you like to play besides Garry's Mod?
Does it have? Can I include like games that I haven't recorded?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so definitely the Jackbox games. You know, I've streamed those. I sometimes play Uno with friends. There are some FNAF fan games which are kind of like replicas or modified versions of like older games, or not like the original FNAF games. I mean, like FNAF 1 Ultra Custom Night, FNAF 2 Ultra Custom Night. Because FNAF 2 Ultra Custom Night, in my opinion, is better than FNAF 2 because, you know, the AIs are programmed better. Anyways, there's a game that I play that I probably won't record on my channel because I don't think people will be interested. It's called the Golf Club, where you can make your own golf courses and play golf on them like you would in real life. And then Golf It, of course. Golf with your friends, of course. And I used to play Geometry Dash, but not so much anymore. I'm doing an Ace Attorney series. I'm doing a Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series with Brandon. Oh, and Planet Coaster I sometimes like to play. How could I forget about that? I was playing it non-stop last year.
Yeah, I think I just got it not too long ago. I just haven't got a chance to play it, but it's definitely really cool that you play it. And since you mentioned FNAF fan games, one FNAF fan game I'm sure people like, Six Nights at Zany Club. Can you tell one thing about Six Nights at Zany Club that you probably would improve on, or that you like about it?
What I like about it is, I like the soundtrack, and I think the game is programmed decently well, but, personally, I'm not a fan of the game anymore, because, let's be honest, the quality and the lighting and stuff in there was really, like, crap. Especially, like, the office looks really, really bad. It just looks really bright, and there's nothing in it, and it's pixely, and yeah, and even some of the rooms they kind of look bare and stuff, and the characters' paths are too predictable and stuff. Yeah. If I do get involved with other games, I definitely want to do a much better job than I did with Six Nights at Zany Club, and also, like, I don't want things to be spoiled, because tons of things got spoiled to too many people all at once, and pardon me, I want to make sure that, you know, that doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I definitely want to do a better job with future games if I do decide to, you know, be involved in them.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. I mean, but hey, it's your first fan game. I mean, when someone makes their first fan game, it's going to be perfect for the first time. Over time, you get to get involved in other fan games and improve on it over time. And some people even remaster those fan games and maybe like change a few things in it. But anyway, let's move on from Six Nights at Zany Club, and let's kind of continue on. You said Golf It earlier. Is golf one of your favorite sports? Obviously.
It is one of my favorite sports. I don't really, I don't enjoy playing golf IRL as much as I do on computer, because it can be kind of frustrating IRL. But hopefully I'll get back into doing that this year. I would say my favorite sport to play IRL besides golf would have to be bowling, probably. Because, you know, that game, you know, it's never frustrating, you know, it's always fun, right? And I consider myself a pretty decent bowler, so...
Unless you always get that one pin that you can't seem to knock down, like I have several times. That's a pain. Although, like, in real life, that doesn't really annoy me too much, because it's still a good bowl, right? Because, I don't get strikes, you know, crazy often in, you know, bowling in real life. But I still get, you know, I still get a lot of spares and stuff. Yeah, definitely understandable. But since you mentioned bowling, what was the highest score you ever gotten that you remember?
I believe the highest score that I've ever gotten was 197.
Dang, dude, that's even more than mine. Mine's 154.
Yeah, I would have gotten to 200 pins, but then I messed up on the very last throw. That was a bit heartbreaking.
I totally understand that. I mean, I have yet to get past 154. So anyway, before we end the vlog, that's actually the next question. Your vlogs. I mean, can you say one of your favorite vlogs on your channel that you've done?
I don't really do that many vlogs, dude.
I know, but you've done a few before, and I'm sure fans might be interested in, like, hey, what do you like about the vlogs? Your favorite vlog that you've done so far? You know.
Well, I consider my vlogs to be just, it's just me talking about stuff, so I cannot really pick a favorite when it comes to that.
Yeah, totally understand.
I can't really pick a favorite. That's not really a question I can really answer, I
can understand. All right, last question. What videos should fans expect from your channel in the future?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. They can hopefully expect animations, but definitely, Gmod maybe Among Us. But at this rate, I'm not exactly sure, what to do with my channel, because, I don't want to sound like I'm getting all down and out and, pouty and stuff like that when I say this, or I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but
it's okay.
Lately, it just feels like, especially very, very recently, like, no matter what I upload, whether it's something popular or not, like, I just can't seem to get the views like I used to, and I know that's partially my fault because I didn't exactly give certain people, what they wanted, especially my SFM fans, and I kind of wish I kept that up. But it's just that, I hate to go personal here, but it's just because, I've had to go through nonstop drama, for 4 years straight, right? And when you have, if things are quiet now, thank God, but when you have to go through all that, it really wears you out, you know what I mean? And that's why I stopped. I didn't post videos as frequently. It's because I lost a lot of motivation because I was just really burnt out, and I think because of that, it kind of caused my views to drop, and and I just really hope that it does pick up eventually, but I'm kind of worried that it may not, because even my animation didn't, even though it was a joke, it still did terrible, you know what I mean? And the thing that confuses me is that I know certain people look for certain things, but with the views I'm getting, I would much rather have less than 100,000 subscribers and get the views that I'm getting right now, which is only averaging 10 to 15K per video, right?
Yeah.
Or, well, I guess 15K per video. So, if you're subscribed and you're not gonna watch my videos, then you might as well unsub. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna subscribe and actually watch my videos to support me, then by all means, go ahead. I really appreciate those who do. Right? I mean, my subscriber count right now is actually kind of going backwards, and I actually kind of see that. This might sound crazy, but I kind of see that as a good thing, because I kind of see it's cleaning up the fans that, the used to be fans who just aren't interested in my stuff anymore. I just want to see what people are truly interested in and how many people are interested in it, so yeah, I just feel like the subscriber count I have, I should be getting higher views based on my subscriber count, because 1% or less of my subscribers are actually watching my videos right now, which is ridiculous.
Well, hopefully that will change. I mean,
Yeah.
YouTube algorithm isn't exactly the best, as we all know.
No, it's not. And I really hope, one thing I hope YouTube doesn't do is I hope it's not suppressing my videos somehow, because if it is actually doing that, that would actually annoy me quite a bit, because I am struggling to, I want YouTube to be my full-time job, but I'm kind of struggling with that right now.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that I might have to go look for another job, because my income is mad low right now. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to say, oh, why won't every single one of my subscribers watch every single one of my videos, because I know that can't happen. I know people get busy, and I know you're interested in some things and you're not as interested in that as other things. Like, you know, I get that. You know, you can't watch all my videos all the time, but 1% or less, come on. That's a little unrealistic.
Yeah, hopefully that'll change. Now, I know I said last question earlier, but there was something that came up. So, you've done a lot of challenges on your channel. Well, a few, obviously. One, are the fans going to expect more challenges in the future? And two, what is your favorite challenge that you've done on your channel?
Well, I will say, guys, the reason, to anybody who doesn't know, the real reason why I haven't really done that many challenges is actually because, I wouldn't say Zach and I are not exactly friends anymore. It's nothing bad happened, don't worry. It's just that he had to move all the way to the, because I live in a big city, and he had to move all the way to the other side of the city, and he's in a new, he went to a new school, and he had new friends there, and it takes him like almost an hour to get to my house where he is. So we just kind of stopped talking, which, you know, it bums me out. You know, he was a really good friend, and I really hope to reconcile with him someday, but you know, that happens sometimes. You know, certain friends move on and stuff, you know, like, and you know, no hate towards him. Like, I wish him the best, and you know, like, I still thank him for, you know, all the good times that, you know, we had, but you know, sometimes you just got to move on, and that's, you know, what, pretty sure what we've done, but hopefully someday we can maybe possibly reconcile. But anyways, going back to the question, I don't know for certain if I'm going to be uploading that many challenges, but I do have one challenge video that I actually recorded with my mom and dad. My dad's mainly in the video. My mom was doing the presenting. It's a gluten-free pizza challenge where we score each pizza, how much we like it, and we guess where it's from, and then we determine who makes the best gluten-free pizza. It's really cool. I don't think it's going to get that many views, but, you know, who cares? You know, it's a fun video with my parents. I'll upload it anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. Also, like, one thing I actually want to clear up to, like, the answer of, like, that last question that you asked me. Like, I appreciate, you know, all my fans. You know, I'm not trying to talk down on them. You know, like, I appreciate any fans that, like, true fans that actually do support me, you know, actually, you know, watch everything that I do. Because, you know, I've seen my true fans. You know, I know who they are, right? All I'm saying is that, you know, if you are a fan of me, then, you know, you should, you know, be supporting me and stuff, which they are. But, you know, those who just don't watch my videos, but they're subscribed, why are you there? You know, that's all I'm saying. You know?
Yeah.
You guys can look forward to at least one more challenge video in the future with my dad. I might do more challenge videos with my parents, maybe, or with my IRL friend if he and I get to talk, because I did plan on doing more challenges with, you know, this other IRL friend that I have right now. But he's gotten, like, really busy with, you know, college and trying to find a job right now, so it's kind of getting difficult to hang out with him now. Just perfect.
Life throws curveballs.
It's okay, you know, life gets in the way, and that's kind of what happens. You know, that's why I actually prefer having online friends than IRL friends, because online friends can stick with you more than IRL friends, because, you know, you can talk with them all the time, and they won't exactly move away from you or anything.
Yeah.
Right? No. I apologize for rambling a lot there. I tend to, like, do that to get points across.
It's okay. Actually, it's okay. I mean, I've understood you.
Okay, so yeah, that interview was years old, but I will make this clear, however, that while some things have changed over the years, RYE did at a time deserve all the support because he worked very hard on his videos. But the reason he left YouTube later on, as well as eventually leaving the internet, was to focus on real life, basically, and he was dealing with a lot mentally. I won't say everything because that's personal, but I hope you guys understand that RYE, he had a good run on YouTube. Some YouTubers, however, decide that it's time to move on and walk away, which is why pretty much he left. So take this interview to stride, and remember, tomorrow's video will be a special one because it's most of the episodes that RYE was in Daily Discord. I'll explain a little bit why one got cut. In the next video, remember, God bless you, Rod, don't forget it.